Good evening. So just came out to the garden. I feel like I might get a chance to do a December garden tour this year. It might happen. We'll see. We'll see if weather and time and daylight permits. But at the moment, I almost have enough in the garden to be worthy of a December garden tour here in Western PA, which I kind of feel like is an accomplishment. But we just had a full day that didn't get out of freezing. The low was 17. I think the high was like 29. That's degrees Fahrenheit. I need to get the formula for converting to Celsius in my head so I can do that off the cuff, but at the moment I don't know. I believe 32 would be 0, so a little bit below 0 Celsius. So I just lifted up the high tunnel, my little low tunnel for my cabbage. Now it's definitely was affected, like the outer leaves are looking a little bit droopy, but we still have harvestable cabbage. I think I'm going to harvest a little bit of this, like this one right here in particular. There, nope. This one right here looks pretty beat up, but it's like a really nice size. Like that's probably the biggest head of cabbage I've ever grown. So I need to get this one inside. And then I love evening skies. I love sunsets. Here is our broccoli. And again, I think this is just some of the nicest broccoli I've grown. So I've got this head here. I mean, it's not like a massive, grocery store sized head of broccoli, but it's not bad. And we're getting some little side shoots. Now we do have something living in here that appreciates the cover, but pretty excited with this. And I'm just curious, if I keep this low tunnel on, will this broccoli continue to kind of grow into the spring? And then, like, if I trimmed it back, would it start producing some heads of broccoli? Because I've got over there towards our chicken high tunnel, I have some space where I left the broccoli in because it wasn't getting hit too hard with pests. So I just kind of left it as an experiment. I have some more planting space because we added on this year, so I could have a little more space for experimenting. And it started, like, we harvested some broccoli off of that spring planting in the fall, and there's still some broccoli on it. It's not covered. We'll go look at it in a minute. It's not covered. It's getting damaged by the cold, but I'm curious, will that produce in the spring? Like if I just let that go, kind of uncovered, but excited to see how that's going to work. And then you'll notice a theme of a lot of experiments here. This was some of my plants that were sat in the pots too long, and I put under here, and they're doing pretty well. Like that cauliflower, I don't believe is going to get a chance to come back, but that one's doing great. These cabbages down here, although not perfect, are growing. And these are some little broccoli plants. One that's like way at the end there, and they're looking pretty good too. So kind of a nice late fall, early winter garden here. I'm just going to show you some of the things that are still kind of green, like they're kind of still growing a little bit, or still pretending like they're growing a little bit, not undercover. Now, you all can weigh in. I had a plant that overwintered last year, produced seed, and I planted some of the seed. So here, let's find one. And I planted it in here. Now, there we go, right there. I am not sure. I had both rutabagas and turnips planted in the garden last year. And I'm not sure which is the one that overwintered. I think those might be rutabagas that I planted. I kind of got them started too early, and they started like splitting and not looking great for harvest because I got them planted in the too warm weather and they just like cold weather. But anyway, I have a patch of these rutabagas or turnips here. I'm basically thinking I'm just going to leave these, see if they start regrowing in the spring. And if they do, this is going to be a nice patch. There's some big old rutabagas slash turnips or something in there. But if they start regrowing in the spring, that's going to put off a nice batch of small flowers, and those small flowers draw in our beneficial insects and help kind of keep balance in the garden. So some of it's like, well, let's see if we just leave it be, what does it do for next year's garden? Same is true here. These were some radishes that, again, I got them started, like timing of the fall garden, I have not gotten down. I've planted too early, I've planted too late. This is a this is a radish. So definitely, like, they had started to bolt before it was time to harvest. So again, one of those, I just left it be. So I'm curious, like that space right there, do you think there's a mole or a mouse or a something living in my cabbage? Nala, honey. Ma'am. Nala. So again, that's one of those things for those radishes. I'm going to leave them, see if they grow back in the spring. Here's another one of those rutabaga slash turnips. I think it's a rutabaga. I might just need to pick one and try to cook it and see what happens. We've got this kale. Now, it did get hurt with this cold snap, but this is its fourth time to grow. I planted that at the end of 2021. No, at the end of 2022. And it grew in the spring, and I cut it back. It grew, and then it grew back in the fall. So that third time that's coming back. And here's the broccoli I was talking about. Like, it's getting hit pretty hard, and I've trimmed some of it back, but like, there's still green leaves on that. There's still some little broccoli heads coming along. So we'll see. And that's a new one. I think that might have been either coming up from the roots or some seeds that dropped or something. So I said I was maybe going to do a December garden tour. Kind of think I just did a November 30th garden tour. So we'll just say that's pretty much what it's going to look like in December. I'm going to go into the chicken run here. We'll see, make sure they have enough food for tomorrow, make sure their water looks okay, and kind of go from there. They're already in bed. It's kind of dark enough, it's hard to see. There's somebody looking out at me right there. We just hang their food in here off of the arch. Got that. And then here's where we keep their water. We've got just that plate that turns on when it's below 32, keeps that thawed out. I've spent a lot of time taking care of animals in my 40-some years on this earth, and water that doesn't freeze is just such a valuable commodity. It makes life so much easier. All right, tonight's pizza night, so if you're interested in seeing the time lapse of the pizza come together, I believe we're going to be doing some pesto pizza this evening. I'm not sure what else I'm going to throw on it. I usually do two. I do one that doesn't have any meat for myself. I do one that has some pepperoni or hot Italian sausage or something for Luke. Fortunately, my girls don't eat pizza. I'm hoping they discover the joy of often it's Friday night. Tonight's Thursday night, but Friday night or Thursday night pizza, homemade. But right now they haven't. Thanks for joining us. And if you decide to stay around to see the pizza making, thanks for that too. All right, pizza night. We've got some onions and peppers that we sauteed this summer and froze, some pesto that we made out of the garden and froze, and we've got our sourdough pizza dough and some frozen cheese that we bought at our local Frankfurt farm where we can buy kind of like wholesale type things. If you're still with us, thank you so much. A couple things that I've taken away from some of the things we've done this year in terms of processing things from the garden. We sauteed a big batch of onions and peppers and then froze them in clumps and put them in a Ziploc bag in the freezer. That has been really nice to just take out and have a quick meal. This year we froze our pesto in half-pint jars. Those half-pint jars are the perfect amount for 2 pizzas, so I think we'll continue to do that. In general, we were pretty happy with that meal. And if you want any more cooking videos or want more details, please let us know. And thank you so much for joining us for the whole video today.